He stood at the door and refused to move. Not one paw, not 1 inch, just trembling. This big, muscular dog, shaking like he was made of glass. His legs could barely hold him. His eyes were wide, darting, searching for a threat that never came. Because for the first time in his life, there wasn't one. The day she brought Ted home, he couldn't even step over the threshold. He just stood there, frozen in the doorway between the life that broke him and the one that was about to save him. And in that moment, she made him a promise she intended to keep for the rest of his life. If you're new here and you love stories that remind you why dogs are the most loyal creatures on this planet, hit subscribe. These stories go fast and you don't want to miss what happens next. Ted had moved into the apartment right across from hers when he was just about 6 months old. At first, she told herself it wasn't her business. People have dogs. Dogs make noise. But something kept pulling at her, something she couldn't ignore. The sound of Ted squealing behind that door. Not playful sounds, not puppy energy. Something that made her stomach drop every single time. The way he was always chained in the hallway for hours at a time, alone, with no one checking on him. She'd lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, listening, wondering, what do you do when you know something is wrong, but you feel powerless to stop it? She watched Ted get thinner. She watched him flinch at the sound of footsteps in the hallway. She watched his ribs become more visible week by week. And still, she waited, because confronting neighbors is uncomfortable, because she wasn't sure anyone would believe her, because she kept hoping things would get better on their own. Sound familiar? Most of us have been there. We see something that doesn't feel right and we tell ourselves it's not our place. But here's the thing. If she had kept waiting, Ted's story would have ended very differently. Finally, she wrote them a letter. Direct, honest, no games. I know this is getting out of hand. If you don't want him, I'll take him. And just like that, they agreed. No fight, no hesitation. They just let him go. She put Ted in the back of her car and started driving. And as she watched him in the rearview mirror, the scared, broken dog sitting in a stranger's back seat, not making a single sound, she said out loud, "You will never have a bad day again." The next morning, the vet confirmed what she already suspected. Ted had a severe ear infection, likely had it for months. He'd been in cane this entire time and nobody had noticed. Or maybe they had and just didn't care. Does that make you angry? Because it should. But here's where Ted's real journey begins, and it was not easy. He didn't suddenly transform into a happy dog the moment he walked into her home. That's not how trauma works. Ted would lay on the floor and shake, completely unresponsive, staring at nothing. He'd destroy something while she was out, and when she came back, he'd hide in the corner, cowering like he was bracing for the punishment he'd been conditioned to expect, as if making a mess meant he deserved to be hurt. She'd quietly clean everything up without a single word of anger, no raised voice, no frustration she let him see, just steady, patient love over and over again, day after day. Weeks passed, then months, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, something started to shift. He started eating without looking over his shoulder. He stopped flinching at sudden sounds. He started following her from room to room just to be near her, not because he needed something, but because being close to her felt safe. The socialization work was hard, exhausting, sometimes heartbreaking, but she kept showing up for him every single day, without exception. And then one afternoon, she saw it for the first time. The zoomies, full-speed, chaotic, joyful sprinting around the apartment, what they now call Tornado Ted. This dog, who once trembled at doorways, was now launching himself off the couch with so much energy she'd call out a warning, "Get out of the way, he's coming." Here's the part no one talks about with rescue dogs. the moment they stop surviving and start living isn't some big dramatic scene. It's quiet. It's Ted walking up to her partner, tail wagging slowly, asking for belly rubs like he's always belonged there. It's the way he can't contain himself when he hears the key in the door, spinning in circles, the whole back half of his body wagging. It's a dog who was taught that love was dangerous, learning one small moment at a time to trust it anyway. But now, here's what I need you to understand. And this is the part that hit me hardest when I first heard this story. There was a moment early on where she almost didn't write that letter. She drafted it in her head dozens of times. She talked herself out of it just as many. She told herself it was too awkward, too risky, too presumptuous, that she was probably overreacting. She'd stand in her hallway, listening to the silence on the other side of their door, and convince herself to wait one more day, then another, then another. She almost let fear of one uncomfortable conversation determine Ted's entire fate. One moment of hesitation almost cost this dog everything. Think about that for a second. All of this, Tornado Ted, the zoomies, the belly rubs, the spinning at the door, almost never happened because she was scared of an awkward conversation with her neighbors. Doesn't that put things in perspective? So let me ask you something. Have you ever stayed silent when you knew you should have spoken up? When you saw an animal or a person who needed someone to act and you convinced yourself it wasn't your job? Because Ted exists as proof of what happens when one person finally decides that discomfort is worth it. Now Ted races to the door when she comes home. He sprawls across the couch like he owns it, because he does. He has a partner who loves him, a routine that makes him feel safe, a home where no one chains him in hallways or ignores his pain. And he has a human who made him a promise on the way home from the worst chapter of his life and kept every single word of it. Even after everything that was done to him, the neglect, the pain, the isolation, Ted still wanted to be loved. He never stopped wanting it, not for a single day. He just needed someone willing to be patient enough, brave enough, consistent enough to show him it was real. So here's something I want you to think about. Do you believe a dog can truly forgive? Or do you think some scars never fully heal, even when they're surrounded by love? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one.